Hey, it's Kara here, and I'm going to show you how to do something really, really cool. We are going to play Angus Young's solo from ThunderSTUCK, AC/DC. Are you ready? Let's turn the metronome on, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we call that finger tapping. And once again, this is Kara Barnard, and I am here with my new McSpadden that the wonderful folks from McSpadden gave for the winning place person that won the national, and that just happened to be me this year. I'm so pleased. And I told the guys at McSpadden that this ebony fretboard, I've just been dying to get an ebony fretboard on a dulcimer. And it's inspired me to go back and revisit this Angus Young solo that I've taught many times to my electric guitar students, and to try to play it on here, because ebony is, it's like such a solid surface, and you can do your hammer-on and pull-offs, just sound so clean and neat on it. So that's the first thing I told the guys from McSpadden that I was going to do on it, is I was going to learn a ThunderSTUCK solo. Now, this isn't exactly ThunderSTUCK. I'm calling it ThunderSTUCK because we don't have the B flat note that we really, really need to make this sound like Angus Young's version. So ThunderSTUCK, you're learning ThunderSTUCK. All right, we've got this beautiful diatonic fretboard, which is the traditional way that the dulcimer has been played. I'm not going to go chromatic. I tried all different kinds of tunings, all different kinds of things to get the right notes, and it just wasn't going to happen for this particular song. So I thought, well, let's just change it up a little bit and make it for the dulcimer. So ThunderSTUCK. Now, if you want tablature for this, go to karabarnard.com and request some tablature, and I'll give you an idea of how you can get some tablature for this, and I'll send that out to you. The sheet that you will be getting, exercise number 1 and exercise 1, 2, and 3 are extremely important to master before you try this whole thing, okay? And you always want to do it slowly. That's what earned me the national title. Everything I do over and over and over again at a very slow tempo with my metronome popping, making sure I'm doing everything at the right time, okay? They call that obsessive compulsive. I gladly accept that title. All right, now, exercise 1. Out of nowhere, out of thin air, you're going to hammer down on that 2 and then pull it off. All right, very, very important. Let's talk about hammer-ons and pull-offs again, because I really kind of wanted to turn this into a lesson thing for you guys, because I thought it might help your hammer-ons and pull-offs if you're having any trouble with them. And I think it certainly will. Remember that a hammer-on is just that. It's a hammer-on. When you hammer a nail with a hammer, you don't go, oh, like that. You go, bam, like that. When you hammer out of nowhere onto that 2 fret, or any fret for that matter, it gives you an idea of how hard and what kind of force you need to make a nice sounding note with that technique. Okay? So you should all try this with all of your hammer-ons, because like I said, it's going to give you an idea of what you're doing and what you need to do to get a good tone. Some of you might be doing this. That's not going to cut it. You gotta pop it, okay? I just taught this to a group of students about an hour ago, and the one woman did a little technique, and I said, okay, how did that feel to you? Because I wanted her to share what she was feeling with the rest of the group, because they weren't quite getting it. And she said, it hurt. And I'm like, that's the way it's going to feel. It's going to hurt a little bit, all right? Especially when we start using this right-hand finger that's not used to doing all that stuff and has no callus on it for that purpose. All right, so back to exercise 1. Hammering down on the 2 out of nowhere, boom, and then pulling off, okay? Now, I gave you a little lecture about hammer-ons. Let me give you a little lecture about pull-offs. Pull-offs are not lift-offs. Pull-off, you pull it off to the side, and it feels like you're actually, or you actually are, plucking that string with that finger, okay? If you lift off, you're just doing this. You're not going to get any sound out of that if you're just lifting your finger up. You got to pull off. Pluck that string with that finger. Okay? Wonderful exercise, and it will definitely clean up your hammer-on pull-offs and any techniques like that that you're adding to your songs that you're already playing. Okay? All right, that was exercise 1. Exercise 2, we're going to take the finger of our right hand and we're going to pop it down on 4. Now, once again, this right hand isn't used to doing that. You're going to have to get used to its new job. What I find that I do sometimes with this hand is I accidentally put my palm down at the same time I put my index finger down. You gotta keep up on those tips. Because obviously if your palm touches that string at the same time, you're not gonna have any note. Okay, so there's my 4-0. 4, hammer on, pull off. Hammer on, pull off. This is exercise number 2. You can stop the video at any point in time and practice these because you need to master them before you can learn the rest of the song, okay? All right, exercise 3, we're putting exercise 1 and 2 together. We're hammering to 2, pulling off. Hammering to 4, pulling off. Left hand, right hand. And if I was you, I would set that metronome to a low speed and practice that over and over again, because what you want to shoot for is you want to shoot for each one of those notes. There's 4 notes that I'm playing here. You want them all to be of equal volume if possible, and you want the timing to be nice and crisp on them. So in other words, you don't want to go. You want to. Okay, that way you can speed it up and sound like Angus Young. Okay, so that's exercise 3. Now let's talk about where the solo begins, because what we're going to do, we've already practiced. We're going to go 2 to 4 with those open strings pulled off in the middle. Then we're going to go to 3 and 5. Now, if you've mastered 2 and 4, you can do 3 and 5. It's exactly the same thing. 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Now, a good way to practice this is to turn that metronome and play and play and play. And then after you get really comfortable, crank up the volume. Not the volume, but the time on the metronome. Make it go a little bit faster. And work your way up slowly. Okay, I always say go slow and then slowly speed up. All right, so you got your 2-0 to 4-0, then you're gonna get your 3-0 to 5-0. Okay, you got that mastered. Let's go ahead and look at the last 2 lines because those are the really fun ones. Okay, what I want you to do before we even try the hammer on and pull off thing, I want you to take your right hand pointer finger, point to 7, and go ahead and press down on that fret. Then press down on 5 with your left, 6 with your right, 4 with your left, 5 with your right, 3 with your left, 4 with your right, 2 with your left. Okay, let's do that one more time. We're just pushing down on the frets right now. We're not doing the hammer-on pull-off thing. 7 with the right, 5, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2. It's kind of like an itsy-bitsy spider thing, okay? Let's try it again. 7, 5, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2. All right, now let's see if we can hammer on and pull all those off. Nice and slow. 7, 5, 6, 4, 5, 3, 2, 0. Again, 7, 5, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2. Okay. Now the other neat thing about this McSpadden is it's electric, and I've got it hooked up to my little Fender amp over there, and I've got a little bit of phase on it to give it kind of a sound. All right. And I think that's exactly what the manufacturer of the Fender amp wanted it to sound like. Okay. The last line of this tab, we're going to take our right hand and go 3 to 2 to 4 to 2. Okay, every time we're doing the same thing, we're hammering on that number and pulling off to expose the open string. 2, hammer, pop it open. 4, down, pop it open. Okay, all right, let's take the last 2 lines and try them back to back and see what it sounds like, nice and slow. 3 and 4 and 7, 5, 6, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3, 2, promise me you will practice that over and over again before you try all that real fast stuff, okay? All right, let's try it one more time from the very beginning of the solo. And let's take it nice and slow. Yeah, I think you need to do this with me. I need to do it this slow. And once again, we're trying to train our fingers to pop down at exactly the right position on the fret. We want to be up as high as we can be on that fret, not way down here, okay? When you play on what I call the low side of the fret, like if we're looking at fret number 2, I call this the high side of the fret. This is the low side of the fret. Anytime you fret anything on the low side of a fret, you're going to run the risk of getting real buzzy, okay? So it's the same with this hammer on. You're going to get a better sound if you pop up on the high side of the fret, okay? All right, let's take this solo from the top, nice and slow. 2 open, 4 open, about like that, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here comes the 3. That's where we really needed that flatted note. We're going to go back to 2 and 4. You'll be happy doing this exercise with me over and over again because it'll make you stronger. Hammer on and pull off. That's the Kara guarantee. Okay, we're going to go up to 7. See, some of those are pretty weak. I need to practice this myself. Anytime I hit a weak note, right there I just palmed it. That's why I didn't hear it. Every time I hit a weak note, it's a reminder that I haven't worked on this hard enough. Now those are caused exactly for the reason I told you at the very beginning. I'm hammering with that right hand, and I'm keeping my hand too level, so the palm of my hand is hitting the string at the same time I do the hammer. So I'm not hearing that because my palm's muting it out. All right, I gotta stay up on my fingertips. We all have to stay up on our fingertips to pull this off. No pun intended. All right, so this is ThunderSTUCK. Please pop me a message at karabarner.com if you'd like a copy of this. And I'll do it one more time. Back up there around 144, wherever we were. See if I can make it sound a little bit better. I've got a little bit of phase on that Fender amp. Come on, metronome, work for me. Pump, 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 pump. You can do it. There you go. Okay, I use the kind of equipment that you have to kind of hit every now and then to get it started up again. All right, I'd still be using a rotary phone. Like I'd use one of those big GIG rotary phones if they would allow me. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not the right tempo. Let's slow down. That's better. Duck, 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 duck. 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I missed it. Alright, once again gang, you gotta practice this stuff slowly for a long time before you can really sign yourself off to play it fast. I should not have signed myself off to play it up to speed yet. I should have practiced it for a couple of weeks, about 30 minutes a day or so, and then I would feel like I could play it cleanly enough to really give you a good example of what it's going to sound like when I have done my practice on this. So you should do your practice on this. I hope you've enjoyed this. Look me up at karabarner.com, request the tablature for it, and I'll give you an idea of how we can make that happen. And maybe if I run into you in person sometime at a festival or something like that, you can show me what you've done with ThunderSTUCK and to make it your own, okay? ThunderSTUCK, that is. We can't call it ThunderSTRUCK because we're missing a couple of notes that we really needed. ThunderSTUCK. Okay, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Bye-bye.